800 years ago, on the grounds of Runnymede, King John sealed a piece of parchment, a great charter, that extended basic rights to individuals subject to his reign. That Magna Carta was neither expansive nor long-lived. Its rules applied to only a small group of noblemen, and it was first annulled just 10 weeks after being sealed. But its adoption served as a signpost on a long and difficult march, and those who forged its compromise stood as early travelers on the road to justice. While the hands that wrote the Magna Carta have long been stilled, the principles they carved out of the struggles of their day, of the struggles of the human condition, live on. Principles traced back to Magna Carta represented a concept that is nothing less than the dignity of man. For Chief Justice Warren, and for the many American lawyers and jurists who gathered by his side, this monument had special meaning because Magna Carta had come to symbolize more than a simple agreement between noblemen and their king. This social contract between a monarch and his people codified, however imperfectly, notions that would one day stand at the heart of our own system of justice. The idea that no power is unconditional and no rule is absolute. That we are not subjugated by an infallible authority, but share authority with our fellow citizens. That all are protected by the law, just as all must answer to the law. These fundamental, age-old principles have given hope to those who face oppression. They have given a voice to those yearning for the redress of wrongs, and they have served as the bedrock of free societies around this globe, inspiring countless men and women seeking to weave their promise into reality. For those who drafted the U.S. Constitution, the significance of Magna Carta was clear. Its influence helped shape a political system that enshrines separation of powers, due process, and the rule of law. A legal system that recognizes and honors the dignity of all people, and a commitment to ongoing efforts to realize these ideals in every interaction between our citizens and our institutions. Even today, America continues to pursue these goals. We are engaged in initiatives to promote trust and understanding between law enforcement officers and the communities we serve. We are working with partners in the United States and around the world to pursue those who would deny human dignity, whether through trafficking or corruption, violence or terrorism. And we are carrying out an historic reorientation of our criminal justice practices to end an over-reliance on incarceration. At every turn, we are driven by that same devotion to the rule of law whose seeds took root in this field so long ago. Thank you for your dedication to the ennobling ideals we are here to celebrate. I look forward to all that our nations will achieve together in the spirit of their promise in the years ahead.
All societies have edges that are not written down, that have nothing at all to do with the law, where you understand what limits are. And when you supersede those limits in any way, when you go over those limits, you see what happens. What does it mean to speak?
What makes life extraordinary?
What's wrong with being a nuisance? What's wrong with being loud and obnoxious?
What is the actual law, please?
I don't know the actual.
You need to know the act. If you
I will
otherwise
find out the acts, don't
you
you worry.
need to know it. If you degrade the underpinnings of everything, you degrade everything else.
These systems are often very restrictive. By learning the rules, you can find a sort of freedom and a way to use them.
You really have two selves in the world we live in now. You have your physical self and you have a data doppelganger, your informational self.
All right, down here, this is the member area. Come on in.
Seven men came into my house with guns.
I admire what Charlotte is doing. If she was not that strong, the case would have gone off right now. People give up.
He shoved the gun inside me and said, if you scream, I'll shoot you from here.
One of the detectives said to me that no one wins rape cases here in Kenya. The only advice that I was given was to leave the country.
That's not fair. The anger in me had started to stir then, so I was like, I am not walking away from this thing.
It was the first time that we had a rape victim talking about the ordeal in an open court.
He undid his zip and he just kept coming at me while the other man was raping me.
The first story you told them is that you are also sexually abused. They were like, is it true that also a white person can be raped?
I understand what that feels like, and that's why I talk to groups of women such as yourselves.
It took me, that incident, to understand my own strengths. They do that every day.
Have
confidence. You'll win this case, man.
There's a file, it's been taken, so they're tampering with the evidence again.
Oh my goodness, now I'm holding my files so high. Mr. Ongeki, for the accused persons, is not in court and there's no explanation for his absence.
Will you proceed without him?
This is ridiculous. What I want her to do is hear this thing, and I want her to do it today. She's about to give me a date in November.
That is how they move the court over here. Tomorrow, and you keep it tired till you go.
This system is so wrong. Women don't want to go through this. They've just been through this traumatised incident. Why traumatise themselves again through a court?
That is all. That is something that you don't have control over.
I can't do this anymore. I try to stay strong for it, but it affects everything in my life.
Pain is a temporary thing, but regret is going to last a lifetime.
I've never fought for anything in my life like this.
Welcome to the war. What you're about to see is the real deal. You will want to look away, but you may not. It's a simple choice. Star in your own video or show no mercy. They will never show you any mercy.
गृह मन्त्रालयमा बसेका छन् प्रधानमन्त्री कार्यालयमा मान्छे बसेका छन् कुर्सीमा मान्छे छन् कुर्सीमा मान्छे बसेकाले दिन्छन् न्याय भनेर न्याय माग्दाखेरि उल्टो मेरो बुढाको जीवन लिइदिएका छन् म यसरी मलाई बिएडमा तडपाएका छन् म यसरी बिएडमा तडपिन चाहेको छैन मलाई यसरी नतडपाउन् अनि यो देशमा त न्याय नै दिँदैनन् रहेछन्
म स्वयं चाहिँ गएर चाहिँ उहाँलाई भेटेँ र भेट्दाखेरि उहाँले को जवाफ यो हुन्थ्यो कि मलाई भेट्नुभन्दा पनि र चाहिँ अपराधीहरूले सजाय पाए मात्रै मलाई शान्ति हुन्छ भन्ने कुराहरू गर्नुभयो।
एउटा आपराधिक घटनालाई राजनीतिकरण गरेको हो, राजनीतिकरण गरेर त्यसबाट उन्मुक्ति खोजिरहेको अवस्था छ र यसमा चाहिँ राजनीतिक पार्टी र सिङ्गो राज्य नै पीडक को संरक्षकको रूपमा देखिएको छ।
The world is not sensitive to the passing of Nanda Prasad and the fight of Ganga Maya.